Sober College Secrets, Episode 2. I'm Jake White, your host. And this weekend, I was at the Young Entrepreneurs Conference, and I got to meet one of the coolest guys I've met so far. His name is Ken Shamrock. He's in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, the UFC Hall of Fame, and he's been named the world's most dangerous man. Now, I got to meet this guy, invade his personal space, didn't even get choked out. It was awesome. He actually gave me an interview, and it was really cool because it's not often you get to share your idea with someone like this, but he's just a great, humble guy, and he heard about Party Point oh and what I did. He really loved it, and you're going to see some footage of him talking about just the college drinking culture and his reaction to Party Point oh, which is really cool. So we're going to cut to the clip and then reconvene after and kind of look at the things that he really talked about and how it applies to collegiate drinking and even recovery. But, Ken, I want to ask you a couple questions. The first one's very simple. Do you drink alcohol?
No.
No? Okay. How do you have fun?
For me, I have done a lot with my family. Like, I have 7 kids, and I have 13 grandbabies. And so for me, the enjoy for me is being able to play with my grandkids, being able to have a relationship with my kids now that they're growing up. Because, first you have to be a parent. And then after you're done being a parent and they grow up, then you get to be their friend. And right now we're in the process of being their friend, so I get to have a lot of fun and a lot of good times with my kids and my grandkids. So that's really what I do for fun.
Okay, awesome. So, if you haven't heard about Party Point oh, basically what we do is we partner up with college students on their campus and we help them throw house parties without alcohol. And we typically get over 150 students to these parties. We get sponsors like Red Bull and Papa John's to hop on board. And we've already garnered national media attention for our movement.
That to me is awesome because I think that right now with the way that the world and our younger generation, I think they're ready for it. I think there was a point in time where if you were to try to do that 5, 7, 8 years ago, I'm not sure that that generation was ready for it yet. But because of all the things that happen with celebrities dying and different people that you see on TV with drug overdoses and alcohol and abuse and all these things that happen because of the alcohol abuse, that it's out there now and everybody sees it and knows it. Even the young kids see it and know it. They don't want to be a part of that. They don't want to have anything to do with that. So I think right now is a great time for this to happen, to be able to launch this and get these young kids involved. And not only that, getting a lot of these young kids involved will also help the ones that are not so interested in it to be able to feel comfortable enough to do it because there's so many people that are on board wanting to make a change.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks a lot. I have one last question for you. So, if you're talk about college students and they're saying, you know what, it's just a tough decision because it seems like everybody drinks. How would you maybe encourage them if they want to stay clean?
Well, first of all, I think, in my opinion, I think there's a lot of kids out there, college kids. There's probably 50-50 right now, I believe. I could be wrong. But I think a lot of them really don't care about drinking. I think a lot of them do it because of peer pressure.
Okay.
So I think that if you can get this thing going where there's more peer pressure not to drink than there is to drink, I think you'll see a huge change. But I do believe that there's enough education out there, especially with college kids, about what has happened to families. Whether there's child abuse, spousal abuse, or whether they drink themselves to death, or what are your accidents. There's enough information out there, enough things that happen to people that these kids in college right now are educated to know that alcohol does nothing for you. So let's create a party like you're doing where people come and there's peer pressure not to drink.
Yeah, I like it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, God bless.
Wasn't that awesome? I mean, I just love listening to that guy and the way he talks and how fired up he is just about being sober and about the idea of these parties for Party Point oh. Like, to me, that was awesome to listen to. And the first thing I want to talk about, though, is just how simple he made the first question I asked him. I asked him, do you drink alcohol? And he said, no. And you could sense that I hesitated a little bit because I thought maybe he would elaborate on it. But it's just, no. It doesn't matter. And the crazy thing is that a lot of the times we feel we have to justify our decision to not drink because it's not the norm or not the majority. But, I mean, he's got the confidence to just, this is who I am. I don't drink. and let it at that. And I think we can all take a lesson from that, just to own our decision because it's ours and it's not anybody else's. The second thing that I thought was really cool is that you could see how much that guy loves his family. And anybody who's struggled with alcohol or drug addiction knows how much it hurts our families. And even if you're like me, and I've never struggled with the drug or alcohol addiction. I've tried drinking a couple times and I just didn't like it. But I knew that I didn't want to get into it because I saw what it did to one of my family members. So what he talked about, just how much he values his family. And I think it really connects as well to when you're out having a good time, it's never been about what you're drinking. No one cares about that except for you. It's about the people that you're with. The people that you're with will determine whether you have a good time or not. And I know that you probably have some best friends. You could honestly just sit there, stand against a wall in 2 chairs, have nothing to do, and you'd have an amazing time because it's all about that person that you connect with, that you care about. So it's just all about the people. It's not about what you consume or what you drink. I think that was really relevant when he talked about his family and how much fun he has with them. The third thing that I'll talk about is how Ken mentioned peer pressure. And a lot of us have this notion of peer pressure, like it's somebody saying, here you go, man, like have a drink. It's all good. Or here you go, take a hit. I'll look out for you, nothing bad will happen. Or offering you a drug specifically. But it can be something as simple as not seeing anything else going on. If you don't see another alternative than to start using substances, and all the people that you meet are saying, yeah, this is where the party's at, this is what's going on, this is how I have fun, this is why I have friends, then that's what you'll assume is the only option. That's pressure. That's huge pressure. So I think what I really took away from him was that if you are sober, or even if you're not completely sober, you just drink because it is the only social thing to do and the way to make friends and have fun. Be open about that. Talk about it. Share your experiences with other people and try something new. Do something crazy that stands out, because if you don't lead, then you're following someone else's vision. And so you better find somebody who aligns with what you do, or you're following them in the wrong direction. And I think that's the real threat that we have on a college campus if you're trying to stay sober, if that's important to you, is that we're following somebody that doesn't take us where we want to go. So that's it for the show today. I want you to leave any questions you have that were left unanswered about the interview. It was very short. He's a busy guy, but if you put your questions in the comments, I'll do my best to answer them. And if you're ever interested in sharing your story with us, we would love to have you on the show to share your story, because it matters and you can inspire someone. And we'll see you on the next episode of Sober College Secrets.